welcome back to Geekshow Arcade. Yeah!
Hey, guys.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Beep, boop.
Jaren,
That's the James sound effects, right?
There you go. You still got a cough, Jaren? You going to be all right this episode? On cue. On cue.
You just mentioned the word cough, and he's like, done.
Why'd you do that? You did this to me.
All right, This is the Geek Show Arcade, where we talk about video games and video game-related things. We will start by introducing our panelists. It's Jaren.
Hi, I'm Jaren. You caught me in a yawn. You did that on purpose. You can find me
amazing.
on
So good.
Twitter
I saw it, and I
at
did it.
Jaren.
There we go.
Finished.
He's not yawning. He's Owen.
Hey, all I think is in sound bites from Baldur's Gate now. So like, and I played through as Asterion, so I'm just like, ooh, let's pick a pocket or a purse to. So you could follow me on Twitter at Techno, I guess X now. So
Yeah. He's Lando.
Hey, it's Lando.
All right.
We have a
That's
host.
I was going to say it, but I was waiting for I was doing the pause thing. We have a host. His name's Tony. We call him
Hey.
Quad T.
Indeed, indeed. Check me out on Twitter at QuadT or on other Geek Show podcasts. All right. Let's see. Do we have any emails?
Yes, we do. Got an email from Lang. He says, how's the happy campers? First off, Tony,
So happy.
I just wanted to let you know that I too have not played any GTA since the top-down days.
Oh my gosh, what's wrong with you guys?
There's dozens of us. Recently, my 9-year-old has been asking me if he could play GTA 5 at his friend's house.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a proper parent, said no. But in the back of my
that was
mind,
the
I
right
know he's
choice.
totally going to.
Uh-huh. Also true.
One day I brought it up and asked how he liked playing it. The utter shock was priceless. Dad, how did you know that?
love that.
How did you know that?
That's
I
dad.
didn't
That's
until
dad.
now.
Dude, that's dad points. It didn't.
Yep.
You like first I caught you.
didn't.
Second, you betrayed yourself. That's a power move. That's a power move right there.
Well done, Lang.
I just think to myself, there's no way you can get close to what I used to get away with. Come on, I'm a seasoned millennial. So I'm about to start figuring out some emulating on my Steam Deck, and I was curious, for each of you that have dabbled in emulating, what are some of your favorite titles you emulate yourselves or wish you could? I really love fighting arcade fighting games. Love you guys. Not Chris across the pond. P.S. Owen, let's go. I'm a silver general in Halo multiplayer now.
Silver
No,
General,
he's,
dang.
He's playing right now. I could see
Nice.
it. He hit me up and I was like, oh man, I haven't had a chance to play. And
You
so I
could pull a
friended him.
Jaren and start playing while we are
Don't
recording.
do it.
No, I respect.
do it.
I respect this podcast
Thank you, Owen.
too much.
Good call.
Don't
Good
turn
call.
that. Don't turn that on.
I
can
was
see
just
you.
checking to see if the button was still there.
You're on video. Let's see. Emulation on the Steam Deck. So I dabble a bit in that. The thing with the Steam Deck is, being that it is not as powerful as the ROG Ally, you can't emulate as new of systems as you can on the Ally. You can get pretty easily up to the GameCube, original Xbox, PS2 era.
Wii U also works well.
And Wii U, yes, you're right. And Wii U works well because the Wii U is basically just a GameCube that's overclocked.
No, that's the Wii. I'm talking Wii U.
I know what I said.
I said what I said.
Really? I thought it was more...
The
I
Wii U
thought it
is
was-
not that much more powerful than the GameCube.
I thought it was closer to the Xbox 360. Interesting.
Well, maybe I'm wrong, but the Wii pound for pound is exactly the same as the
Right.
GameCube. You know, all they did was add the motion control stuff. I don't think they added a whole lot to the Wii U either. But anyway,
Neither did the Switch, for that matter.
well said. So I am a fan mostly of that gen of systems. I like the GameCube stuff. I like the Wii U. I guess Wii U's a different gen, even though it's the same thing. Original Xbox, stuff like that. And so I have a few games loaded up that I own discs of as well. One of those is, or two of those would be the Buffy the Vampire Slayer games. Those were sleepers, sleeper hits. If you didn't play those back on the original Xbox or the original PS2 or the original GameCube, they're pretty good. They're pretty good third-person beat-em-ups with all the actors from the show voicing the
never
characters.
would've
They
thought
actually
that.
did the voices too.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I think I don't think they got Sarah Michelle Gellar. I can't remember for sure, but the other ones I'm pretty sure are
James
all
Marsters in there.
Yeah.
Oh, you said James Marsters. I like him now.
Dresden, yeah.
See,
So I like those a lot, and then I never played Wind Waker, and so
Wind Waker is very good.
I picked up Wind Waker HD on the Wii U like a year ago, and then I was like, wait a minute, I can emulate this on my Steam Deck now, and so it runs really well. It's a 30 frame rate cap, 30 FPS cap, but that's just because that's how
the game
is.
was.
It's flawless though.
But
It's
it
great.
runs.
It's
It
so
looks
good.
spectacular on there, and it runs great. So
Yeah, for me, Wind Waker, Metroid Prime trilogy, but I spend most of my time in like the older stuff, like the Sega Genesis, stuff I played when I was growing up, like Sega Master System. So
I'm a SM or a SNES guy, SNES.
same here.
When I do emulation, I'm doing those games.
Breath of the
I'm
Wild.
also doing ROM hacks from SMW Essential. So
Oh yeah,
ROM hacks are super cool.
yeah. I'm the SNES guy too. I did Breath of the Wild. Those games on SNES were fantastic, and played Secret of Mana. So
Breath
great.
of the Wild.
Breath
That's
of the-
not right.
That's not
What is it?
even.
Breath of Fire. Sorry,
Breath of Fire, yeah.
I was getting when you said the Zelda,
Zelda
one.
game, yeah.
No, Breath of Fire. Breath of Fire and Secret of Mana.
Oh yeah, some
Those
classic
are some
RPG action.
Some classic ones. They're great.
Nice. There you go. Thanks for writing in, Lang. Jaren's coughing. Do we have any more emails?
nope, that's it.
All right.
I put myself on mute for a reason.
Well,
You
otherwise,
know.
if I don't say you're coughing, otherwise it's just dead silence while we wait
But
for
you
you
were-
to finish
But
coughing.
that's on brand.
That's true. That is on brand. You're right.
I wasn't even speaking at that time. Whatever.
Look at the face.
All right. Here's an article that I wanted to talk about last week, but we didn't get to it. It's very quick. It's time for some NVIDIA simping. Hooray!
Yes.
Oh, I love this.
I know, it's my favorite. All it is basically is NVIDIA announced a couple weeks ago that we now have 500 RTX games and apps available that support all of the cool tech that is exclusive to NVIDIA. We got the DLSS stuff, ray tracing, hardware accelerated ray tracing that runs really well, AI enhanced visuals, things like that. So
That's really cool. I remember when the 2080 generation first came out, and
there was like 5.
less than that. There was like 2. Like I remember getting Battlefield 1 or 5 or whichever one it was, just for the ray tracing, even though I
Yeah.
didn't like the game.
And it wasn't even very good at the time.
Well,
the ray
the-
tracing was fine, but it was so heavy that
Yeah.
you had to use DLSS 1.0, which was dog doo-doo.
Yeah. Like
was
finally,
trash.
like
So-
the 4000 series plays that game well without
Why
DLSS.
why is Nvidia crowing about this? Are they the ones that make it make the games compatible, or is it?
They're the ones that
so-
debut the technology
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
consumers.
but it's still the engineers and the game studios that go back and do the work to make it compatible with the
Right.
cool new features, right? So
The point is they've created a platform that's that successful that since then 500 different things have jumped on board to
created the
utilize.
technology to make it possible.
Yeah,
that's true.
so
That's true.
cool stuff. All right, let's see. Let's do a little bit more simping this time for Valve because they're doing some more stuff in the VR realm.
Half-Life 3?
I wish they don't know how to count that high.
Half-Life Alyx is the best Half-Life game out there, and it's in VR, so go play it. Anyway, that is not what I'm talking about, though. Valve released a wireless VR streaming app for the Quest. Yeah, so you don't need Facebook's tool or wireless desktop in theory, but from what I've read, it works well. Wireless desktop is still the winner as far as image quality and
Latency.
consistency and latency. But apparently it works okay. So if you don't want to spend the money on wireless desktop, check out the wireless VR streaming. Your computer should be hardwired, and you need to be close to your router because you are pushing a lot of bits through the air.
Yeah, don't be in the next room over. It won't work as well.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
I wonder if this means there's going to be a new Valve Index sometime soon that does wireless streaming.
That would be interesting. whatever it is, I hope that they don't take engineers away from whatever the Steam Deck 2 is to work on Valve Index 2, because
1.9 already came out. I mean, that's what they called this OLED screen, this OLED
basically
Steam Deck. So
Steam Deck 1.9, you know. Okay, let's see. Should we talk? We need to talk about the Game Awards at some point, both the winners and different game announcements.
That's going to take a good chunk of time. We should do that one first.
All right, sounds good. We'll talk about the winners first, and you know, if we take longer than 6 or 7 minutes to talk about all the winners, we'll have spent more time talking about the winners than the actual Game Awards. So, boom.
Yeah, it's
got him.
Could you imagine the Oscars having a bunch of trailers in between awards and stuff?
Yeah. So, I mean, we could, let's touch on that briefly. There were even, and this happens every year, but it got worse this year, I think. They have game winner announcements without even pausing between naming the things off and then saying the announcer and rolling on to the next one. For instance, this year specifically, Indie Game of the Year went basically like this. And Indie Game of the Year nominees are, lists off the 6, and the winner is blah blah blah. On to the next thing. They didn't let anyone come up and accept the award.
No award acceptance?
No award
up.
acceptance for Indie Game of the Year.
Dude,
You know,
give them
and
2 minutes.
think about that. That is, an indie studio puts their freaking heart and soul into their product.
Yeah,
because
just to get there, just for that exposure.
Just to get there. And this might be the only time they ever get to accept a big award like this, and they just plow on through. So yeah, pretty disappointing in how they're handling that. And hopefully, there's been a lot of criticism. Hopefully, Jeff Keighley takes that to heart and rebalances things for the next year.
He's like all spectacle now.
It is, which I like that part of it too, though. I love all the new announcements and everything, but they need to figure out a better balance. It's just, it's too much of that now and not enough actual celebration of the work done by the devs. And he caught flack too for not saying anything about the massive amounts of game dev layoffs that happened this year. Even though we had, a lot of good games released. I thought I read a number that the number of I read an article. In that article, they said the number of layoffs is over 10,000 developers this year.
Ooh, that's
Which is
nuts.
crazy when you
Gaming
think that these
studios.
games were being developed for the last 2 or 3 years. So they squeezed the blood out of them, released this
And let
epic
them
banner
go.
year of games, and then shoved them off.
Yep. All right. Well, anyway, let's actually give some of these winners their due. And
Is it
kicking
just the one
off-
studio?
What do you mean?
Is it just Larian? Is that it? Is that
Oh, it's basically
Hey.
Larian won everything. We can close up
And
shop
Remedy.
now.
And Remedy.
I just wanted to keep us under that 6-minute mark, so we kept with.
That's all right. All done. Game of the year was Larian with Baldur's Gate 3. Game of the year.
What a great game.
They had, I think we are in a previous episode, we went over all the nominees, so I'm not going to bother with that this time. Baldur's Gate 3, Game of the Year. Best Game Direction, Alan Wake 2.
Woo!
So Remedy pulled that one out. Best Narrative, also Alan Wake 2.
Huzzah!
Best Art Direction, Alan Wake 2.
Ho!
Yeah, looking pretty good for Alan Wake 2 so far. Best Music, Final Fantasy 16.
They should have chosen Alan Wake 2 on that.
I didn't even know that I didn't even remember that Final Fantasy 16 came out this year.
Yeah.
Like, that's how crazy this year's been for games.
Oh, I forgot that too.
That came out this year. Final Fantasy 16 came out on consoles this year. Best Audio Design, Hi-Fi Rush. Let's see. Best Performance, Neil Newbon from Baldur's Gate 3. He voiced Asterion.
Yeah.
Let's see. Games for Impact. This is a thought-provoking game with pro-social meaning or message. I don't recognize any of these games. Tchia was the name of the game that won. Best Ongoing Game. Now, this is awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. Yeah, baby. Cyberpunk 2077.
I was going to say, it's got to be Cyberpunk, yep.
Phantom Liberty, and all the almost innumerable amount of updates that they've put into this game since it launched. And then the big, 2.0 one they did this year. Best indie game. This was the one that these guys got hosed on. And the winner is Sea of Stars, which I started playing the other day. It's pretty rad. And it's kind of old school RPG style, like, your Chrono Trigger, Golden Sun kind of
I'm
thing.
up for that.
Yeah. Best debut indie game was a game called Cocoon. Best mobile game, Honkai Star Rail. Best community support, recognized game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates and patches, Baldur's Gate 3. Best AR VR game, Resident Evil Village.
I'm kind of sad that a dedicated VR game didn't win this one.
Yeah. Well, there was only 5 nominees, and only 3 of them were actually dedicated VR games. The other one was Gran Turismo 7, which obviously isn't a dedicated VR game. But let's see. Innovation and accessibility, Forza Motorsport. Best action game, which I don't know. I didn't play this, so I can't really say. But Armored Core 6 won for that one. But that was up against Remnant 2, Hi-Fi Rush, Ghost Runner 2, and Dead Island 2. That Armored Core game better be freaking good to beat those games out, because those are rad games. Best Action Adventure, Tears of the Kingdom. Best RPG, Baldur's Gate 3, obviously. Best Fighting Game, Street Fighter 6. Best Family Game, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Best Sports or Racing Game, Forza Motorsport. Best Sim Strategy Game, Pikmin 4.
Where's James when you need him?
I know, James would be pissed.
Yep. Best Multiplayer Game, Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, come on.
For its great co-op. Yeah.
Have you done that? Have you played the co-op on that?
I haven't, but I'd like to.
Yeah, I haven't
I
either.
think it'd be fun. And then they have a whole bunch of like esports, blah, 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 stuff that I don't know. I'm too old to get, I guess. But most
anticipated game, that's a weird category to me.
It is a weird category because it's super, super subjective, I guess. It's basically what game has the biggest fan base right now.
Yeah.
How do you measure anticipation?
How big is the hype train, right?
Exactly.
I mean, get rid of that category and let the indie devs speak.
For sure.
Yep.
Right.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is like part 2 of the Final Fantasy VII remake. That
So just
one.
go to Twitter. They just go to Twitter and like find out which ones have the highest
I don't know.
retweets.
Best adaptation, game adaptation into another medium. The Last of Us, which not too surprising. That was pretty freaking rad. Let's see. Player's Choice, Baldur's Gate 3. So there you go. That's all your winners.
I'm surprised Tears of the Kingdom didn't win more, honestly.
Well, you
They only
should
won
see.
one.
Go online and see the outrage of all the Spider-Man
so
2
mad.
fans.
Oh, yeah, they didn't win anything.
Well, this is the year of such good games, man.
incredible.
There's so many games, and any one of these games, any other year would have cleaned house.
Yep. But this year has just been so loaded.
Baldur's Gate 3 and Alan Wake were the major winners, it seems like.
They were, yeah, which deservedly so. I'm about 4.5 hours into Alan Wake 2, and everything Jaron said about it is pretty spot on.
Do you need to play the first one in order to enjoy the second one?
There's a recap in it.
Yeah, I definitely am glad that I did, but if you haven't, you're probably fine. So. But yeah, it's rad. It's super rad. Alan Wake 2 so far. All right, now let's talk about the announcements. And there were a buttload of announcements, as we mentioned previously. Too many compared to the amount of games and time given for people to give speeches. But we will talk about what was announced. The big one. Okay, there's a lot of big ones. One of the big ones, Baldur's Gate 3. Out on Xbox right now. Boom.
Yeah, like that night.
Yep.
Good
Didn't
press
they
for Microsoft.
Didn't they fail to mention it or something? Or there was some
So
flub up about that.
The CEO of Larian, who by the way went to it dressed in
This is the guy in
medieval
armor, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
plate armor.
Oh, wow, he's awesome.
like on brand. Okay,
Yeah,
like
totally. During the acceptance speech of Game of the Year, he was supposed to announce, it's on Xbox now. It's live. and he forgot.
So it's on. So Game Pass, is that where it's at?
No.
No.
You gotta pay
Come
for
on,
it.
come
Come
on.
on now. You gotta
They're
pay
making
for that.
way too much money to give it away on Game Pass.
Rats.
But it is available on Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S. And I mean, if it's anything, I'm sure it's got to run as good as it does on the PS5. So, I mean, it doesn't have to, but I would assume it does, especially since they put a bunch of extra time into making it work on the Xbox Series S. So, if you haven't played that game and you got those systems, grab it. Great game. Baldur's Gate 3, man. Let's see. What else do we got here? Oh, Final Fantasy 16 also announced, hey, there's a DLC out today.
Yep.
And then they announced another one is on the way. A new Monster Hunter game. We got Monster Hunter Wilds. Not till 2025, though, so that one's a little ways off. Good news for Alan Wake 2 fans. Come yesterday, as when this was recorded anyway, Alan Wake 2 has a New Game Plus mode, which I'm a big fan of the New Game Plus modes. I think they're a lot of fun. I love taking a victory lap around the game and just destroying everything. Also launched
There's like a different ending too, I heard, on that New Game Plus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Even more of a reason to play through it again. I can't remember if we've talked about this much or not, but there's a game that it launched. It's been in beta for a little bit, and it launched fully the day of the award show as well, the finals. And it is a really interesting looking multiplayer, first-person shooter multiplayer game. It's kind of an extraction shooter where you're supposed to go into an arena area against other teams, and your team is supposed to pull money out basically and get the money extracted.
Extraction shooter, like the day before, right?
No, that was an MMO. Or was it, according to the director? Anyway, this game was developed by a bunch of people that used to work at DICE on the Battlefield games, and it's got a super destructible environment. Everything I've seen on it, basically, people are really enjoying. The beta was huge.
That panda costume really turns me off to this game. It just makes it look like a Fortnite clone to me.
Yeah, that's probably not the best art to use right there to make it stand out. I'll agree there. The guys from No Man's Sky announced a new game.
I'm excited about this one.
This looks kind of cool. It's called Light No Fire, and it is a open world game set on Earth or an Earth-like world that is actually to scale the size of the Earth.
Yeah, and Sean, what's his last name?
Murray.
Sean something. Sean Murray?
Sean Murray.
Oh boy, it's late. What's the developer's name?
Hello Games.
Hello Games. Sean Murray of Hello Games.
It's in the first line.
I don't have the article up. Oh. Anyway, famously overpromised for No Man's Sky. I mean, they eventually made right on it and made it a great game. So you would think he'd be careful of that this time around. Nah. But he gets up there, he's like, "Nope, we made a game as big as Earth, and you get to do all this cool stuff."
It's a medieval kind of setting, but with magic as well and all this stuff.
It looks super cool. They have different situation now than they did back then. They've been working on it for 5 years already, and they don't have Sony trying to push it out the door like they did with No Man's Sky.
Right.
They're
like,
self-publishing this time.
And they're like, it worked before. So even if they do, they're like, we rebound it. We proof of concept that we can make it good.
Well, and what's crazy to think about is when you compare this to No Man's Sky, this is scaled way, way, way down because you're only talking about one world instead of a universe.
But this world looks a lot more interesting than any Earth or any world in No Man's Sky.
Exactly.
It actually looks like different biomes. Mm-hmm. The mountains can actually look like mountains instead of just hills.
What's the point of the game? Is a sim?
Don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's fantasy
it looks
setting.
Like it's got construction aspects, base building, survival stuff,
co-op, like online co-op,
online multiplayer. Yeah. So chances are it'll probably be pretty good.
No story.
They haven't given any story details. Yeah.
There probably will be. There was a light story in No Man's Sky.
Yeah, they just haven't said anything about it. All right. Something called As Dusk Falls, which is Let's see. Up to 8-player co-op, kind of a thriller horror game kind of a thing. Okay. For realsies now, absolutely 100% for reals, Skull and Bones from Ubisoft has a release date, and it's coming out for realsies February 16th of 2024.
So they still have 2 months to screw it up.
Yeah, exactly. This game has been in development for, I don't know, 10 years?
Since
8 years?
Black Flag came out, pretty much.
Since after Assassin's Creed Black Flag came out and everyone said, this pirate game stuff's really cool. And Ubisoft said, we're going to make a dedicated pirate game. And here we are. It's actually finally for realsies going to launch. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We talked about that. Okay, this one was way out of left field, and I wish they had something to show besides some pre-rendered cinematic, but that's all we got. It is a Marvel's Blade game coming out by Arcane Lion Studios, which are the guys that did the Dishonored games and Deathloop, fantastic games.
When has anybody heard about Blade recently, though?
I know, that's
I
the
love
thing.
that franchise, by the way.
Yeah.
Like Wesley Snipes, I love those movies. I don't care. They're like a
fun
fantastic.
comics.
Yeah.
I mean,
Does Arcane really want to make another game about vampires? It didn't go well the first time.
this is their redemption story, Jaron.
Like, we need better base material.
Yeah. So yeah, it's they say it's going to be an immersive third-person action adventure. So this definitely, from the way they describe it, it takes place in Paris, which is unique because usually all the Blade stories. Well, I can't say that. I haven't read a whole lot of Blade, but he's usually I believe, a East Coast New York kind of a character,
Like everyone.
like most of Marvel.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Didn't they say that this is not open world?
yes, this looks like they're going back to their more Dishonored, Deathloop, kind of style.
That's good. That has me more interested in it.
Exactly, yeah. Now, this is one, I hope there's other people that are excited for this, because I sure am. The Twisted Metal TV show, Season 1 was great. You need to go watch that if you haven't.
Is that on Prime? Where's that playing
Peacock.
at? Peacock. Okay.
And they announced Season 2 is greenlit. They are going to do a Season 2 of Twisted Metal, and I am here for that. That show was a lot of fun. Let's see. Let's roll it down here. Fortnite is getting some sort of a Lego thing. Lego Fortnite. And then an arcade racer called Rocket Racing from Psyonix, which Epic owns. They bought them a while back. That's coming into Fortnite too, so you're getting like Rocket League racing in Fortnite.
Yeah, they've made Rocket League, and I've seen videos of it. It looks pretty fun, actually.
If it's racing, I'm down.
Just
Yeah.
Fortnite, all the things,
But if it's like more friggin' push a ball through a net with a car, that's not for me.
I wish it wasn't in Fortnite, though. I want a separate game.
What do you have against Fortnite, Jaron?
I don't want to boot it up and find Rocket Racing wherever it's located in Fortnite. And Fortnite updates all the time, so I hate having it installed. There you go. That's why.
Okay, whatever.
This one, I don't know how to feel about this. Hideo Kojima teased his new thing.
No one knows what to feel about it. They show nothing.
OD is what it's called. The only thing that makes me, and here's the thing, I love Hideo Kojima games, except for Death Stranding. I didn't play enough of it to really decide, but his Metal Gear Solid stuff, big fan. So I need to give Death Stranding more of a chance before I can really say anything on that, but it turned me off. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I tried to get into Death Stranding, and it just did not get me.
I've given it a couple tries, and I just am not feeling it. And I'd feel the same way about this, except for it's got, he's working with Jordan Peele on it. And Jordan Peele is a really good filmmaker. So hopefully that turns into something neat. But what they did show off, though, was basically just faces talking nonsense.
Yeah, what are you supposed to get from that?
So it doesn't, the only thing I got from it was basically the facial rendering tech that they're using with the Unreal 5 engine is really, really good. These faces do look spectacular. At first glance, I was like, why are they bothering to show us recorded video of these actors.
It
No.
looks like recorded video to me. They're using MetaHuman in Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah.
This is going to be an Xbox exclusive.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's that part's interesting.
But yeah, the facial animation and everything, it looks phenomenal. It might be the best I've ever seen. Let's see, what else? No. Oh, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Ori and the Blind Forest. This developer has a new game coming out. Moon Studios is their name, and this is called No Rest for the Wicked.
I'm very excited for this. I love both Ori games. They're some of my favorite Metroidvania games ever. They're just fantastic. And so this looks kind of like Diablo-ish.
Little Diablo-esque, yeah.
Yeah, but the art direction's super cool, and
It does look really neat.
it just looks very solid.
We'll keep you posted on it as we find out what's going on. Launching in early access in early 2024. And then God of War Ragnarok. Oh, yeah, baby. Got some free DLC coming out yesterday or today. Came out today, the 12th. And it's called Valhalla.
New game mode, too?
Yeah, so basically this DLC is, I guess there's some new story involved with it that continues after God of War Ragnarok. And it is a new game type that's kind of a roguelike beat 'em up kind of a thing. You go into dungeons, take on the monsters, peel some story layers back, and when you die, you just start over.
Nice.
So, interesting.
You're going to do that? You're going to play through that, I'm sure. You like that?
Only
game?
because it's God of War. I don't do the roguelike stuff. I'm not a big fan of that usually, but if it's God of War, I'll do it. They showed off some more Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and they actually showed gameplay this time. This is an Xbox exclusive coming from Ninja Theory.
Did they show gameplay?
There's some gameplay in there.
It's
yeah.
hard to tell.
Well, it's hard to tell on that game in general because there's just the way the camera is and everything. Sometimes you think you're controlling the first one, you think you're controlling it, but no, it's actually a video.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of finishers to me.
Yeah, and it graphically still looks amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Coming out on Xbox and PC in 2024, and we'll see where that goes. Okay, this game, did you guys watch this Big Walk?
I did not catch this one.
What the heck? Weird looking game is this? It's from a company, the company House, which is the studio
from
behind
Panic. Okay.
Untitled Goose Game. And
Great game.
Yeah, and this is their next one, and I don't know. I just go watch the video. I don't know even what to say about it. It is weird looking, and I'm interested. We'll see what happens. All right, so that is all the announcements from the Game Awards. Not all of them. That's all the ones we felt like
there's
mentioning. And then we'll say I was going to talk about the day before, but I think we'll save that for next week because undoubtedly there's going to be more information. Again, this is one of those stories that keeps updating. Like every day there's a new layer to pull back of like, what the heck were these people thinking?
Yeah, and I'm just like sitting back eating popcorn.
Oh, it's wild. This is these are the ultimate overpromise, underdeliver story I've ever seen. IGN reviewed the early access version of the game, by the way, the day before. You can go see it on their website. They gave it a 1 out of 10.
I have never seen a game get a 1.
I can't remember the last time I saw a game get a 1. And just to wet your whistle for more information next week, the game company that developed this, 4 days after it released on early access, they announced they're closing their doors.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So anyway,
that's not a good sign.
No, it is
It
not.
reeks of scam to me, but yeah,
Feels
we'll talk
very
about it.
scammy. So we'll talk about that a little more next week because I'm sure there will be more news about that. Let's do a quick lightning round and we will call it a day. I've been talking too much. Owen, do a lightning round.
Let's see. So Baldur's Gate 3 is out on Xbox. We talked about that. But be careful. They're working on it furiously right now. But there's a bug that's wiping out all your save data.
Ooh. Oh, no.
And so they have said what to do. Basically, leave your Xbox on all the time.
What? That's the cure?
Yeah, they're like
on
keep
suspend or like
yeah, right.
That's
like
the opposite
okay,
of rebooting it every day.
that's not so
keep
bad.
keep it suspended, and if
Oh,
you're gonna
okay.
shut it down, do not power it off. Hard boot. So I mean, this is common sense, right? Don't unplug it, and don't turn off the breaker while the game is running. Particularly because Xbox is one of the things about Xbox is it loads these games and kind of keeps them ready for you in suspense, right? So you can get back to them fast. So they're working on that, but apparently some people have lost their save data, and that's never fun. It's the opposite of save scumming, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'll tell you what, I have save scummed the heck out of this game because I want to experience all the different options. Like if I was like, I want to know what this does, but I also want to know what this does. I don't want to play through the whole thing again just for this one conversation. So you can save mid conversation.
Yep.
And so I'll tell you what, I'm just about to Act 3 in Baldur's Gate. And I have to tell you, the end of Act 2, I'm like, Act 1, okay, cool. I'm playing the game I want. But the story at the end of Act 2 in Baldur's Gate 3, like,
Starts getting crazy.
it's so good. And so I'm really hooked on the story of the game. So
This is your lightning round. You talked about
That's
this
it.
every time for the past 2 months.
I support,
also,
I
if you
support
check,
you, Owen.
if you
I
check,
support you.
Jaron, do you see paragraph 3? Right at the bottom, it says, shut up. Anyway, that's my lightning round.
All right. Lando, lightning round.
I'll do my Lando's casual corner for my lightning round. Thank you very much.
Alright.
I have a game that I've actually been playing for more than 1 week. It's actually
What you got?
It's a good game. I'm trying to remember the title of it because it doesn't have Time Locker is the name of it. Hey,
It's a really good game. I like it a lot.
Sorry,
It's
sorry,
12
Darren.
o'clock at
Nope.
night, guys.
Tony,
remember
Jaron, he
what
got
it's
to it.
called.
He got to it before you got him. So
That's
let him
true.
play.
I didn't
You're
say
right.
anything.
You weren't
Fair play.
fast
Fair
enough.
play.
Yep.
This is another game on Apple Arcade. I really do enjoy this game. The reason I didn't know the name is because it's just an icon to me. It's the little icon of a bear. But this is it's a crossover game. It's a mix up between Crossy Road, which is a Frogger knockoff, Unlimited Frogger knockoff, which is also a very good casual game, by the way. If you haven't played Crossy Road, I highly recommend it. And then it's the other game. What's the 3D shooter game where time stops if you're not moving?
Oh,
Red Hot?
Red.
No.
GeoHot.
no.
Red Hot.
Geohot's
You know what I'm
the
talking
hacker.
You know what I'm talking about, though. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
yeah.
Red Hot.
Red
no.
Hot. Anyway,
Mind something.
it's a top-down.
Red Hot.
Super
Delete.
hot. Super
Super
hot.
hot. So this is
Super Red Hots.
sorry. Thank you
We
guys
got
for
there.
helping me get there.
Anyway,
This is
Super
I mean
Hot.
this is a Super Hot and Crossy Road had a baby, right? So it's top down shooter game. You get to play different characters, lots of fun upgrades. And when you're moving is when time's happening, right? So the bad guys don't move, nothing happens unless you move the character. And it's a
kind of
good-
puzzly then. That's cool.
it's a little puzzly. It's you're trying to shoot for the high scores, and the higher score you get, the more rewards you get. The more rewards you get some good upgrades. Becomes more fun. It's just a good game
more
on
addictive.
the Apple Arcades.
What's it
So,
called again?
Time Locker. I give
Nice.
it an 8.5 out of 10.
maybe we can get
pretty
Beeper
good.
Mini. Maybe we can get Beeper Mini to let me play some of those Apple Arcade games.
I don't know if it works that way. but you
Sorry,
should try.
I know.
Sweet
All my
games.
casual games are Apple Arcade games, so really it should be Apple Arcade, casual corner. But those
That's
are the games
true.
I play, guys. I don't play the Baldur's Gates like you guys do.
It's a good deal if you play phone games, honestly.
Yep.
And right now, and at this point in my life, with all the things that I have going on, phone games are the main games that I play.
I feel so sad for you.
I feel sad for me too.
All right, I'll go real quick because Jaren's lightning round is
awesome.
Is very interesting.
Oh,
What?
I thought you were gonna
It
make
is.
fun of me.
No, I agree. I agree with this. All right, my thing is for realsies. It is a certain thing now. E3 is actually all the way for realsies dead.
They call
There
it
is no
Time
more
of Death.
E3. Yep, Time of Death was.
It's been dead for years. They just finally realized it.
Yeah.
was dead.
Exactly.
They
December
pulled the plug.
12th, 2023. They finally pulled the plug. What is it? The ESA, which
Yeah.
is the company that used to run E3, released a statement that says for more than 2 decades of E3, each one bigger than or after more than 2 decades of E3, each one bigger than the last. That's not accurate. The time has come to say goodbye. Thanks for the memories.
Yeah. So basically, they say that because of the way that we as consumers now get to the product and how, and post COVID and everything, like they basically just called it out and said, "This is it's changed, right?"
Companies can have their own events, and
exactly
they do just as well.
Yep. With the information age the way it is these days,
and in fact, focused on their own events, like
exactly, they get more eyes on it.
And people want these smaller kind of micro, like they would rather have more content from one provider multiple times a year than one big, short.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep. So there you go. No more E3 in Junes. E3s in Junes. All right, Jaren, lightning round.
I just want to say Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora looks really good. I don't have the game, but this was a surprise to me because normally, like, I don't care about Avatar and I don't care about Ubisoft open world games, but this looks really cool. For one, the graphics look amazing. They are astonishing for what they were able to do. It's kind of crazy that all the games with amazing graphics this year were not Unreal Engine. None of them.
None of
them? Yeah, that does blow my mind because that thing was touted
Cyberpunk, Alan Wake 2, Avatar. Yeah.
That'll change over the next year or two, but
yeah, we'll see. But the gameplay also looks really fun. People are saying it's similar to Crysis.
Like the first Crysis.
Yeah. So it's pretty sandboxy, and you can pretty much do whatever you want, and the movement feels really good, and it's solid even on PC. It's a solid port on all platforms. So
just more evidence that this is Snowdrop engine. Yeah, the Snowdrop engine is primo tech. It's what's used on the Division, which is the company that developed this. Is also the company that they're developers that did the Division, and then it's been used on a few other Ubisoft titles as well. Actually, on the Switch successfully too. So Snowdrop engine is pretty versatile, pretty rad.
That's it. I'm done.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go. Maybe Jaren will get Avatar and give us a review on it one of these days.
Still got to finish Alan Wake 2.
A year down the road or something.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
All right, that is the end for this week. PSA, I forgot to say this in Help Desk, but a PSA, we are going to be taking the week of Christmas off. So there will be no Geek Show Arcade, Geek Show Help Desk the week of Christmas. We will be back the week after. And there's still another week before then. So we'll tell you again next week. We'll remind you next week too.
As long as Tony does not forget.
As long as I don't forget. Yes,
he will.
That's right.
Take that. Oh, what's that stuff called? Wasabi.
Get some wasabi. All right. Before we finish up, though, big shout out to our awesome Patreon backers. Patreon.com/GadgetSpot. Thank you so much.
Jared's going to speedrun this. Let's time him.
Jaren is going to read it at a normal cadence so everyone gets the due they deserve for being such good donators.
Oh, yeah, but, speedrunning's so on brand for, like, a game show and, like, show about games. Speedrunning's a big part of the community, right?
You've already taken more time.
We would have been done by now. Yeah.
I'm trying to defend my take. That's all.
Big thank you to David Broshinsky, Connor Keesaw, and Wiffleball Tony. You guys are the bestest.
Just the
best.
Thank you.
Thanks to Si Se Puede, reap rewards rebooting router registries religiously. Andy Bird, Be the 8-year-old, Travis Johnson. Check out the new Baldur's Gate 3 custom text stickers at Pieman Graphics on Etsy.
That's what I'm talking about.
Jeremy, No Name, No Color. Keslow, Eric Steinman, Eric Cruz. Owen has tech cred, !
Oh, yes.
Yes, you deserve it, Owen. Mm-hmm. Matt Nelson, Mr. Hand, and Mr. Spicoli in 2024. Aloha, it's our time. Josh D., Adam, Aaron Faulkner, Stuart Lloyd, Joe.
Slower.
There's no place like G28X0Y0Z0. Ryan M. and Adam Hex. Thank you, guys. You're the best.
Oh,
feel
thank
like-
you so much,
feel like
Patreon
that needs
backers.
I'm
to
surprised
be
you
the
didn't say
new-
thank you between each one. Thank you to this person. Thank you.
That
It
needs to
was
be
like
the new normal. That felt genuine, Jaren, instead of a
Actually
spreadsheet.
did.
What?
it was like those graphs that you learn about in algebra, where they go in both axes forever and get closer and closer to touching zero, but never actually do.
Never do.
What are those called?
Limits.
Limits. Yes. Jaren
Nerd.
is limits. All right. Well, we will see you next week, and until then, Owen, take us out.
Hey, we hope you care.